Hey crew, welcome back to another episode of Legacy Forge. My name's Craig Whitney. I'm your host, where we take franchisees and business owners from where they are now to who they want to become and be. Lessons learnt through failure, not from ego and success. Yeah, wisdom is learnt through others. Today's episode. I've put a little thought of this, and this kind of seeds a second topic that I'm diving into and researching at this point of time for my second sort of, speaking topic. Yeah. From artificial intellect to authentic intelligence. Now, probably seen the last couple of years, it's evident the rise of AI, right? And I'm not another AI expert. I don't want to be another AI expert. Where my expertise lies is in the power of being and the power of presence and the power of authenticity, rather than another AI guru out there who's attempting to flog a certified course that'll be obsolete within 21 days of it being released, because AI is an ever-growing machine which cannot be stopped or certified for that fact. So today's episode's around shifting from artificial intellect to authentic intelligence. Yeah. My camera up, yep. Artificial intellect. So where does this come from? So AI is everywhere. Right. It's in our content. I've known a coach who's written 3 best-selling books in 9 months with the use of interviewing billionaires and also using AI to write chapter by chapter. I've seen top 50 books of Claude 2026, the top 50 books of OpenClaw 2026, all written by AI. We're no longer, enacting, creatorship and craftsmanship within, authorship of writing books. It's pretty much just AI slop upon slop upon slop upon slop. I will say something on that though. I've bought the top 50 books on Amazon of Claude. I've bought the top 50 books on Amazon of OpenClaw. I've bought the top 50 books on Amazon of ChatGPT, because they're the 3 AIs I've had kind of the most experience around. I haven't had a look at Gemini or anything like that. And none of them, and I quote none of them, not a single book has a chapter on privacy and security, on how to privatize your information. Now, there's actually a Claude book that has references, that has a reference page on 4 books, which are all written by PhD professors on the need for privacy and security in these public databases, but that's about as close as it gets. So yeah, I've been the dummy that's invested in over 150 books on the 3 top AIs, and that's okay, because I don't mind reading physical books, being someone who's kinesthetic. I love the feel of the paper and the letters as I use my finger as a trace to speed read. I get a lot out of it, and I can learn a lot quicker, and being ADHD, I can fly through them quite quickly and retain a lot of information. But yeah, that's something worth mentioning, and it's something to highlight in big red fucking highlighter of where the security and the privacy is on these public networks, because we're all freaking up and down, up in the air and doing the dance with AI and these magical shiny objects and artifacts getting created on Claude. And I'm seeing a lot of salespeople put people's data on Claude, people's contact information and payment details. And I'm seeing Claude integrate with Xero. financial and bank statements. And I'm thinking, wow, big question mark. Privacy and security. Now, I know OpenClaw, for instance, is like an angry ex, and I've seen the damage it can do, right? I've seen it when it disobeys its handler and goes rogue and puts all your information off your computer on the World Wide Web for everybody to see, right? And I actually know a command prompt that I can Google your information off of ChatGPT, off of Claude, potentially off of Gemini and Grok, because they're all public databases. And you're training their models. You're not building your own. You're training their models, right? You're training their models, which is going to go into robotics, which is happening now. China's already failing, so laugh at it all you want. China's there. It's failing with robotics, agentic AI and robotics. Right, my coach is leaning into robotics in the next 12 months with his LLM and the models that we're building. My AI, level 9 AI, which I'm in kind of pre-launch at the moment. We're just doing a few pre-tests at the moment with these Amazon employees, getting that underway. It's been a big project. I haven't really said much about it. I've actually not said really much anything about level 9 AI on the socials. It's a little project that I've kept quiet except for a few people. However, level 9 AI will sit on the outside of my whole coaching and gyms project as an exclusive only VIP elite level for coaching clients. Yeah. And also have its own product offering as well, subscription models. And also I'll be running my own coaching workshops specifically and strategic on AI, right? On the use and the implementation of AI. And that goes further than just writing a few emails or writing some text messages or DM messages or some phone scripts for, telemarketing or anything like that. We're talking proper implementation, strategic implementation, yeah. Because this rabbit hole goes way deeper, and I'm kind of being a little bit hush on my project of level 9 until now. It's getting closer and closer. We're not rushing things because we're completely building. We're modeling the OpenClaw, we're modeling Claude, we're modeling ChatGPT, but we're building our own private data center. Yeah. Because I don't want my clients' information on the public web. Okay. No way. This is private. This will have its own data center. Fortunately, I'm not the one spending $10 million for this. So I've partnered in with someone to be able to help me design this and build this. If you want to build your own, be my guest. What are we up to? About 10 million in raised capital to actually get the backbone of all together, data centers, vectors, programming, and then we got the hiring of the engineers to put it all together from Germany, not India. So we're talking German. So former engineers that have worked for Mercedes and Audi and the top of the line, getting it all together. It's slowly coming together, and we're not rushing. Okay, we're not rushing out the market like Claude has and ChatGPT. And I look at it this way: these models, these top 4 models, they're basically public models, and they're Toyota Corollas. It's all they are. You're competing with Toyota Corollas, one Toyota Corolla against another Toyota Corolla. Now, you may think, okay, the only competitive advantage that you might probably have is you might be a better driver of that Toyota. Okay. The better driver of the same car may win the race eventually, but what happens when you got a bunch of Toyota Corollas on the race course and an F1 McLaren comes on? And that F1 McLaren on the steering wheel has access to brains, to strategic brains. And we're not playing around with pathetic little prompts or talking some Star Trek era or some fucking Soviet era agents, right? We're talking commands. Command the respect of your AI as you would your employees in your business. With OpenClaw the way it is, you don't command respect of your AI will go fucking rogue. And it'll be like an angry ex and it will destroy your business. Okay? That's the tipping point where we're at now. Okay? So this whole AI that's being built, command, no prompts. Right? Oh, thanks for the gestures. Thumbs up. Command. Right? Yeah? Thumbs up. What else have we got? We've got brains. Right? Brains. Yeah? Thanks for the thumbs up, dude. Cool. So brains. What do I mean by brains? So whenever you do it right out of, let's use this pathetic term of prompts on, say, ChatGPT, tap in the mind of copywriters of, say, what's his name, Miller Storytelling or Dan Kennedy, and it will act like these guys and do some half-baked prompt or half-baked paragraph that's so dehumanized and ridiculous and most of the time hallucinated. And even Claude hallucinates, yeah? So on level 9 AI, we're tapping into strategic brains. So we've got access to over, 15 brains minimum. And so let's say you want to type up a legal contract, right? So you tap into the legal brain, right? It's got access to 2,000 brains, well over 20,000 hours of top attorneys worldwide, business attorneys, family law attorneys, lawyers, top brass, and it will frame your contract within your local area. And all you've just got to do is get a lawyer to proofread instead of construct it. That's where we're looking at. Recently, I had to evict a housemate, right, because of his addictive behaviours. And he was just driving Marina mad, me mad, and the neighbours mad. I had to get rid of him, right? So I used the lawyer brain or the legal brain within level 9. I drafted up an eviction letter and I framed it in a way from a top lawyer, right? Australian lawyer in rental tenancy, right? In Queensland in particular. I framed it right. I had it written up, printed it, signed and delivered. And he went to his legal aid, whinging and complaining and carrying on. And the lawyer said, I can't do nothing because it's all legally framed right and correct. The language is right. And he's basically got you where he needs you to be. Perfect. So it still pays to have that human judgment attached to these sorts of things. Don't rely on AI 100%. Always have that human element for those judgmental tasks. So, all right, that's enough of level 9 AI. I'm 14 minutes into this episode and I haven't got into my topic. So, all right, today's episode, moving from artificial intellect. So I've covered what AI is. So it's everywhere. It's slop. I'm seeing it. It's acting as a mask, right? I'm seeing influencers. I'm seeing coaches. I'm seeing network marketers. I'm seeing everyone fucking use it and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And the old school copywriters would be turning in their grave if they seen this shit that's getting around on social media. Like Schwartz, Eugene Schwartz, we're talking the old school copywriters from the 50s and 60s and 70s. Yeah, they would be turning in their grave if they seen this rubbish. Right, this is the artificial intellect that I'm talking about, yeah? the mask that I'm putting on, that I'm not acting my fucking self, I'm taking on a frame of something else. And I see this in the franchising world big time. And I'll get to that in a minute, just so I'm not confusing or convoluting the two worlds, because it's quite a sensitive topic, yeah. Now we switch to, artificial intellect. So we're sitting in ego mode. Remember the triangle? And I'll always come back to this because this is probably the easiest way to explain this. Artificial intellect, ego, soul, authentic intelligence, speaking your voice. I go more radical honesty over vulnerability, looking like a piece of prey who's sharing their life story. Just being radically honest. Vulnerable. I mean, if we go predate vulnerability is, I'm showing a weakness and I become the weakness in the tribe. I then become prey. I then leave the tribe to becoming prey to a roaming tribe, to a threat, to a dinosaur, to a jaguar. Right? Let's just be radically honest. Just be honest with yourself, with other people. Yeah. Say things as you'd naturally say them. Yeah, use AI to help you write stuff. I get it. And this is where the merging of AI from artificial intellect to authentic intelligence. Authentic intelligence is merging the artificial intellect into your authenticity. Now for the franchising world. One of my favorites, because I get so fired up on this. It's a perfect example of a world that lives in artificial intellect. And is completely cut off from authentic intelligence. Because in the franchising world, they get so addicted to the system that they drink their own Kool-Aid hard. And I say that without prejudice, and I don't care what people think about it. Franchisees and franchisors and franchise companies want to get upset. That's their own issue. However, let me add some credibility to that. People don't buy brands anymore. They don't buy logos. They don't buy companies. They don't. When I go to Google, I don't look for a franchise logo, right? I look for a human being. I do business with a human being, not a corporation, not a logo, not some fancy ad. I do business with a human being. I tell this story all the time. It's like I drive 40 fucking kilometers to go for a Domino's pizza, right? Now people thinking, wow, why do you drive 40 kilometers for a Domino pizza when I think Domino's is less than 1.3 kilometers from my house? It's because I like the franchisee. I built a relationship. I got a good rapport with the franchisee. I trust him. He's given me good service. He's given me reliable service and a good product for what it is. He hasn't let me down. I have not had a bad experience. My local Domino's up here, I've had numerous bad experiences of them not counting my orders, forgetting things, putting wrong things on my order. I had one instance where they put seafood on a pizza and I told them specifically no seafood. I have allergies. So after 6 times, I'm never going back. And I've had other experiences, similar experiences with other Domino's, on the Redcliffe Peninsula where I live. There's 3 other Domino's and they still can't get it right. And I've been to Domino's, say up, Caboolture Way and that. They're not too bad, pretty average. So it's resulted in me going all the way up the Sunshine Coast for a pizza. People think you're crazy. Well, it's because I like the franchisee. That's why. I built relationship with the franchisee. It's not the point. It's the relationship. I don't do business with a logo or a company. Yeah, the company and that's the credibility and the branding. Yeah, okay, cool. But what's behind the company? The people, the franchisees. Right? The power of branding is comes within the power of relationships. And this is where the authenticity and the authentic intelligence comes in, where franchisees need to get a backbone, and share their story within the guardrails of a system, and not just be wearing a uniform and spruiking the franchise only. Yeah? Does that make sense? I know that sounds off-putting and that's going to offend a lot of people, particularly franchisers and franchisees. But yeah, it's something to be encouraged as a franchise owner and a franchisor, is help your franchisees develop their story. Because there's one thing that people learn by, and it's potentially our only trump card wherever we go in life, where it's owning a franchise or owning multiple franchises or building an independent business or going from one job to the next job, is our trump card, is our story, right? And I don't say from a victim mentality, I say it from a teaching perspective, is we learn from our stories. We learn from telling stories to one another, from the days of the campfire. So the more we can use our stories to become authentic and authentically intelligent in our soul side, our purpose, the more people are going to resonate towards us. Yeah? Because we're just authentic. The more we sit in our ego side and sit behind a brand and a logo and act like a subcontractor, hoping that this logo and this system's going to save us, the more we're going to struggle. Yeah? And I say it all the time. And the franchises I'm working with and tapping into, franchisees are over here in the ego side. And I say that with love, right? They're wishing, hoping, relying, rather than stepping into the soul side of their purpose and sharing their story. And I know some franchisees are starting to develop that, and I'm seeing a lot in the home service sectors where they're doing content, they're sharing their stories, they're sharing their before and afters, and they're becoming some of them are becoming social media influencers. And that's amazing, yeah? Because people relate to your story. So that's today's topic, from artificial intellect to authentic intelligence. No preparation on this one. This is just observations. I am researching this topic, and it's all about authenticity and being present. The more I'm present with my clients, the more relatable I am and the greater the trust. The brand as it is builds trust, gets clients in the door, right? Particularly from a franchise. It's then my job to share my story and close my clients through my authentic intelligence. Okay? Anyways, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube for the video. That's it for today. And, of course, I have a 30-minute one-on-one connection call available. Links in the comments. Click and book ahead. Let's connect. Let's see if we can partner and work together. Yeah, see if we can help one another. Genuine conversation. See if we can potentially partner and build a relationship. All righty. See you next time. Bye for now.